Hello everybody, Doug Berry here. Welcome to the Sierra region of California and Nevada. Today we're going to take a look at some big heavy black Percheron draft horses owned by Michelle Russell, and she is a teamster and a farrier, and she also does wagon trains, and she also does I believe carriage ride services and that kind of thing. She's got a beautiful team of Percheron geldings we're going to take a look at. Now she's from Pilot Hill, California, in the Motherlode country, and she does a lot of events in the California and Nevada area. And we're going to take a look at her fine pair of geldings. And since this winter was so miserable and so much snow and everything, we're going to take a little parade of spring in the second half of this video. I hope you enjoy it. You're so handsome, you're so beautiful, look at you. I know you're not that grumpy. Shy. I know you're not that grumpy. I don't believe what she said about you guys. I know. Yeah. That's my breed right there, is a Percheron, the black Percheron. Yeah. You know they have that black skin, and like the Belgians, they're not as likely to get cancer. Did you know that? Yeah. Well, I'm with a fellow teamster here, and she's actually a lady. And we've been discussing a little bit about draft horses, and we're going to discuss, hey buddy, how's it going? We're going to discuss, I know, yeah, we're going to discuss a little bit about something that people probably don't know about, and it's called, I think it's estrogen replacement therapy for women, and they use pregnant mare urine from draft horses, from the females, and they extract that.
Yep, they like to use the drafters because they're so big and they do produce
I thought that was so odd, didn't you?
Yeah.
But I thought they weren't doing that anymore. Hey buddy, he's coming over here to say hello. He's coming over to say hello. I know, I love you too. I love you too.
Yeah, he's not camera shy.
I love you too. Yeah. These aren't a grumpy team at all. No. They're very observant about people too. They're like, I think they're even more observant than dogs are personally. But
yeah.
Anyway, so it's really odd about that. They're still doing, are they doing that in Canada?
As far as I know.
Yeah. So let me see if I remember this right. It's been a long time. I think they collect the urine from pregnant draft horse mares, and they extract the estrogen for the replacement therapy. Is that correct?
Yeah. I think you got it pretty better than I could say it. Yeah.
Hello everybody, Doug Berry here. So as far as my experience with horses, I'm not that good of a buckaroo or a saddle horse man. I'm a heavy draft horse horseman, a teamster, and my experience has been farming and using draft horses for that, and also horse packing in the Eastern Sierra with mules. But I farmed 100 acres with 6 registered Percheron horses, and I always had the black Percherons. They also come in gray and dapple gray, but I always specialize in the black Percheron draft horses. And that's a whole nother story in my life. I've done a lot of different things in my life. I've been very fortunate to have a lot of different chapters in my life. But I'll share a few pictures, the last few pictures I have of that time in my life doing the farming with the horses. Here's some pictures of the time when I was farming with draft horses. Like I said, I had 6 Percheron draft horses. Here's a pair of registered mares, and they're in harness, and they had a little foal with them. And I'll show you another picture of that. This is that's the grandmother, that's the daughter, and that's the granddaughter. Kind of interesting. And I always use the stainless steel harness, B for Berry, as stainless steel doesn't rust with the sweat from them. And here's a write-up that was in the newspaper up in Portland, Oregon, and that's a pair on the manure spreader.
So yeah, you'll see a lot of the spotted ones because they like the draft mares because they're bigger and produce more urine.
Right.
But a lot of the folks that are trying to prove, like if they have stallions, they want to prove they're homozygous. So they have to get a season out of them, and if they produce color, so they can cover quite a few mares, they get enough spotted horses. So one breeding season, they can say this is a homozygous stallion.
Right.
So you see a lot of the spotted draft crosses.
Right.
That come out of those
were you in the wagon train today? Because I didn't see you guys in Sutter's Creek. I didn't.
We were. We turned around. We had some technical difficulties, so we went back to camp, loaded our gear up. That's why our wagon's over here. Not in the circle.
Well, you know, these Percherons, they're pretty fast, and if you go too fast and you get a speeding ticket, then you're gonna have to bail out of the wagon train to take care of that. I bet it's been a long time since the California Highway Patrol wrote a ticket for speeding on a horse, but
So our teamster here, she's very active in the Sierra and California region, California, Nevada region of the different horsing events. What are some of the events with the heavy horses that you've gone to in the region?
As I was mentioning earlier, we've done the Highway 50 wagon train. I've been part of that one for many years. And one of the neat opportunities that I had was working with 3 of some of the best teamsters in this area that they would have 8 draft horses pulling 2 authentic freight wagons, and they would
That's a handful, isn't it? 8 up.
8
oh my
up.
goodness.
It takes a village. And then they'd leave out of South Lake Tahoe and go into Placerville. One year we went from Virginia City, Nevada, all the way to Sacramento. We were on the road 21 days.
Oh, excellent. I'm jealous. I'm jealous.
That was a fun year. I think that was 99 we did that one.
Yeah.
And the gentleman, our wagon master, I don't know if you got to meet him yet, his grandfather used to do the lead hitch with the 10.
Oh, okay.
Bred some Morgan crosses and that out of Arizona. And Cletus is a multiple generation teamster, cowboy, wrangler.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So often some people think that using these workhorses is some kind of animal abuse. That's not true at all. They actually enjoy working, and they like to get out and get exercise and do things just like everybody else. And actually, if anything, when you exercise the horses, of course you have to make sure that you're taking care of them and not overwork them. But for instance, with the mares, if she's pregnant with a foal, she'll actually do better with her birthing and give a more trouble-free birth if she's in shape. Now, if you don't work them, she gets all fat and everything, you're gonna have problems with the pregnancy. And like I said, they just love working. And if you take a team out and leave one behind, they're social animals that get really upset. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I agree a lot, yeah. And they really do bond. You know, they get like a working, these guys have a bromance.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
they're close friendships. Another thing with these teams, if a team has been together for several years, they're kind of like a couple. They're inseparable. They get to love each other, to know each other, to work together with each other. They're the best of friends, you know. And so once a team is matched up and they've been together for a while, you should never sell them or separate them. You should keep them together. And usually they're matched up and they're usually the same size, so they're easier to work together. And just another thought too. I've noticed with when I had the draft horses, I'd run. I had 6, so I'd run 3 and 3, and I would switch them off. I'd run 4 hours and then bring the fresh team out. I just noticed that extra horse doing farm work kind of kept the horses a little bit fresher. So, and also, I think personally, it's easier to use a 3-up team or a 4-up team than it is just one team of horses. That's my experience. Now, when you get up to 6, 8, 10, 12, nah, that's a handful. What do you think?
That takes a lot of experience. Like we said, it takes a village to get that down the road and working.
One of the best things about the draft horses when you're farming is you can be attached to a John Deere tractor and so forth, which is fine, but these are actually living beings, and they do have feelings and they do have intelligence. And there's a lot of different things that you can do. And there's some things that are more dangerous. For instance, if they hit a bumblebee nest and they take off and you've got a mower attached. But at the same time, if you get thrown off and you have a disc attachment, they'll stop. A tractor will just run over you and kill you. So anyway, but yeah, they have feelings and they have intelligence. So you think you like your dog, man, you work with these babies 6 days a week. It's amazing. It's a really interesting relationship with animals with these.
You were talking about the mentalities of the different breeds and how some are hotter and that. And what I've believed and been told by a lot of my drafter friends is all the breeds have kind of your farm style that are smaller, more quarter horse kind of work minded, like you were talking about. And then you got your ones that are the bigger, hotter, more hitch style. And every breed has those, you know? So yeah, so you can have your farm style in your Belgians, Clydesdales, Percheron, and you can have your hitch and all those guys.
Right.
Yeah, and like I said, I usually compare them to like your farm horses, like your quarter horse. It's that good old go along, steady, do the job all day long. And your hitch horses, they're a bit more of your show offs. They're like your actors and movie stars. They got to have a little bit snort and flair for the show ring. They want a bit more action and go. So yeah, a lot of folks don't know that. You know, they think that, you know, they're all either hitch horses or farm horses. Like, no, I've seen Belgians that were barely, 15, 16 hands and good little workers. And and Percherons. I have a Percheron at home that she's barely 15 hands and she's an old style. So,
How long did it take for them to work together well?
I think I drove them more when I tried them out as a pair when I was checking them out than the owner ever did.
I really want to emphasize something here that a lot of people may not know, because there's not that many people that have a lot of experience with horses nowadays in our modern world. And if you're a person that likes cats and dogs and any kind of animals, well, imagine that you have a cat or a dog it's a powerhouse, like a big logging truck or a tractor, and you're working with that logging or farming, and you're working 15-hour days, 6 days a week with them. Imagine how pleasant that would be, have a big doggy like this that's your friend. It's just an amazing experience, and that's why a lot of the older farmers, they always remember the horses, because they remember the names, because they're like family pets. But they're like big tractors too. Don't think that these animals cannot get work done. They can get work done. These animals built our country. No mistake about it. Built the dams, the roads, cut down the trees, hauled the trees, the freight, put out fires, and the fire pumpers. These the Percheron were known for pulling the fire pumpers because they're fast. In the winter time, I used to have to feed cattle with teams, and sometimes I'd use a wagon, sometimes a stone boat, sled. But I'd also take them out, and I would ride them, but I would drive them like with reins, with driving like a team, like driving a team, you know. But I would have a saddle on there, you know, and I had a couple that I could do that with, and I had a lot of fun doing that. Do you ever ride yours?
Oh yeah, Colby's really fun to ride.
Yeah.
He's actually had some training and schooling with it, so he's really fun. He gets kind of Englishy,
yeah,
dressage-y. He really gathers.
I've been bucked off a Percheron too, believe it or not, and you know what? I'd rather be bucked off a big draft horse than a saddle horse any day, because I've been bucked off both, and those saddle horses will really mess you up. So
I don't like hitting the ground. Here we got from a Shetland pony to a draft horse. But, one of the first teams I had, the first time I went to ride him, I made sure it was in the snow in case I did come off.
So you drove this team on the Embarcadero in San Francisco, and you were pulling that old fire pumper?
Virginia City steamer pumper that's up there.
In San Francisco on the waterfront?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
At one point we did a parade.
That probably hasn't happened in like 100 years or something,
They've
you know?
done it. Oh gosh, I never was involved in the previous ones, but it seemed like the 50th anniversaries. They did a few rounded numbers, and I couldn't tell you that right now. My brain's dead. But that year we got to be part of the 150th. It was 6-7 years ago, and what an honor! It was such a riot. The fire department took care of us. They turned Pier, what was that Fisherman's Wharf right there?
Yeah, Pier 39 Fisherman's Wharf, the tourist section.
Hey Colby,
yeah, Colby and Ace. I know you're already jealous, aren't you? Yeah, you're the big horses, the big boys. Yeah, you know, people talk about how they love cats and dogs and so forth. You work with a team of Percherons 6 days a week, and they're amazing. They're amazing, and they're very. They get excited about doing work and doing jobs. They don't want to be left out, and even though they're kind of a little grumpy sometimes, they actually do have emotions, and they know who feeds them and who takes care of them.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, buddy.
A lot of these guys, we do a lot of commercial and public work where we'll deal with, a few hundred people in a day at some of these events. And it's really interesting where they know the guests and the kids and will drop their heads and let them pet them. But they know who their crew is and their people are. Out of all those crowds, they know who their people are.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Here's a redbud tree in bloom, and you see a lot of these in the Sierra foothills, like even in Tehama County, El Dorado County, and they are a legume, so they fix nitrogen from the atmosphere in their roots. They make their own nitrogen, kind of like soybeans. Interesting. There's a beautiful bouquet of dandelions, and Destiny is going to make some tea with this beautiful bouquet. Well, can't complain. This paint has lasted 10 years.